When I was growing up, my dad was in the orchestra. He plays cello. And I remember as a part of my childhood growing up, one of the things we would do is we would go to the concert hall and we'd watch the orchestra. We'd watch my dad play cello. And you can imagine for a little kid, it was kind of boring. But I think what was neat for me was I was fortunate because my dad sat on the end of the row. My dad was one of the better cello players, and so he was on the end. They call that first chair sometimes. And I would go to these concerts and I could watch my dad, right? I could watch my dad play. But I also had this understanding that I was fortunate. Not every kid could watch their parent in the orchestra. You know, if you're sitting down on the floor and you're watching the orchestra up on stage, most of the time you only see the first chairs. You see the conductor's back, right? And maybe you see the top of a bassoon or the top of a tuba or the top of a bass, but that's it. And the point of going to watch the orchestra isn't to watch the orchestra, right? It's to listen to the music. You could just as easily sit back in your chair and relax and just listen to the orchestra and still have the same experience, come away with the same experience. And so I think the people that are in the orchestra would even argue, you didn't come to the performance to see me or to watch me. You came to listen to the orchestra, right? You could say, well, my dad plays bassoon or my dad plays cello. You're not going to isolate that one instrument and say, wow, you know, after the concert, Dad, your cello playing was amazing. You couldn't isolate one person out of that entire performance and say, you did a great job. You listen to the entire piece, the entire ensemble, and you would say, wow, the music was beautiful. This Sunday at Walden Church, we're talking about just the role that we play as people in the world. The role that the church plays too. Like, you know, I think now at the beginning of the year, New Year's, we're all thinking about our image and the image that we want to project and maybe the person we want to be. We're talking about changes we would make to our lifestyle, right? And maybe improving pieces by saying, I want more of this and I want less of this. But really, that's an image that we're projecting because of how we're perceived and how other people look at us, how we receive praise or thanks or gratitude or accolades. Maybe we want more of that, more of the good and less of the bad. Jesus makes an argument in the Sermon on the Mount that when we do good things, when we act righteous, that the praise should really go to God and not ourselves. In other words, when we hear the music, we stand and applaud and we say, wow, that was a beautiful piece, that moved me, that inspired me. But we're not applauding one specific person, right? We're not applauding one bassist or one oboe player or one flautist. We're saying, wow, the music was beautiful. I loved it. I was inspired. I was moved. And really the church today really is supposed to be that. We are supposed to be the orchestra. And a lot of times the orchestra isn't even seen. Sometimes it's in the pit, right? You ever gone to a play where the orchestra is in the pit? You don't go to the play then to watch the orchestra or even to listen to the orchestra. You go to see the play. And when you stand and you applaud the actors who are on the stage. And you talk about them afterwards and you say, wow, you know, they were really moving or I really enjoyed their part. But you don't ever talk about the music. But you would certainly notice if the music was gone. The music is there to enhance what's being done on the stage. The musicians are more tucked away, they're more hidden, they're more non-thanked people, right? They don't do it for the praise or the accolades. They do it because what they are doing enhances what's happening up on stage. And Jesus would say that's the role of the church, you know, to kind of be in the darkness, to pick up those instruments in silence and to play something beautiful and then to be inspiration, to be an addition, to be flavor to the play. And for us, for the Christian church, who is on stage? It's God, right? God's on stage. We are called to shine our light on God so that God is seen, so that God receives praise, so that He is thanked, so that He is applauded, and He is loved. You know, Jesus says in Revelation, behold, I am making all things new. That's what we're thinking about at the beginning of the year, right? Making a new self, a new image. Jesus is the only one who can make all things new. I can't make all things new. You can't make all things new. So why do we want the praise and the thanks anyway? We shouldn't, right? Because we don't want anyone to ever think that it comes from us, that we have that power, that we have that authority, that we can make things new, that we can make things right. We can't. We can't. And so I would rather just pick up my instrument, play my part, make something beautiful, and add to the flavor, add to the music, add to the masterpiece that is God, that is Jesus, who stands up on stage, who makes all things new. And I should be content to play that role, to watch him receive the flowers and the applause, and I should be content. I should be content with that and not be worried about my image or what I look like or how I come across or how others see me. I shouldn't be jealous of other people who maybe receive more thanks or more praise than me. I should be content. My life should have purpose in knowing that I was given a talent. I was given an ability. I was given an instrument to play in the orchestra, and I am one of many. And my role is to make music so that Jesus shines, so that he is worshiped, and that ultimately the world sees that he has the answer, that he can make all things new. Hey, so I'd really love to meet you this week, and I'd love for you to make Walden Church your home. We have 2 services every Sunday. We have our 9:30 service in the morning, which is our traditional service, and we do that with our choir. And then we have our second service at 11 o'clock. This is our more relaxed service. It's the hour where we have Sunday school for our children, and we worship with our praise team. See you soon.